Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann. I am Shannon Sommerville, and we have your 5 best NFL player prop bets for Week 2 in the NFL. Tyler, we had a very profitable Week 1. We were 10 of 16 on all of our shows overall. On this show specifically, we were 4-1 in our picks. I'm pretty proud of us because Week 1 can be tough. Like weeks 1 through 4, the unpredictability of everything, but I'm pretty proud of us for going 4-1. The only one that didn't hit was, of course, Drake London. What happened to Drake London? Why did they not want to use him last week?
Played 90% of the snaps. He just was on team cardio, you know?
There you go.
He was just out there running.
So we're crushing it here on the LineStar YouTube channel. If you haven't already, do us a huge favor. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Sign up for those notifications. We give out a lot of picks every day here, so you want to make sure you're up to date on all our videos and hop on these picks right when we come out with them, because a lot of times the lines change. We want you guys to be able to get the best value. Also, the tool we're using to pick these props, you can just have at it yourself. The PropsAI tool is available for everyone on the LineStar app. PropsAI is where it's at this season. 10 of 16 so far. Off to a good start here, so looking to carry that momentum into Week 2 here. We also have some other shows going on as well, so you make sure to check out all of our preview shows going on. Tyler also has some daily fantasy tips for you guys as well, so make sure to tune in to that. Now, all of our picks are also available. If you are in a state where maybe sports betting is not yet legal, you might want to check out these apps: Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks, Chalkboard, and Sleeper. They are available in most states. Check if it's legal in your state, and you can go ahead and download those apps. Use the promo code LineStar when you do, and you'll get up to $100 of your first deposit matched. Actually, on Chalkboard, it's up to $300. Go get that Chalkboard app. Use that promo code LineStar and get you your money. Yeah. Let's get us some money this week, shall we? We've got some great picks for you this week, and we're going to start things off with a team that was absolutely abysmal in Week 1, but we're betting on a bounce back this week against the Arizona Cardinals. It's the New York Giants and their tight end, Darren Waller. We're saying he goes over 50 yards in this one, over 49.5 to be exact. LineStar's projection for Darren Waller this week is 59 receiving yards. Only 36 for Waller last week against the Cowboys, but a much more favorable matchup this week going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who gave up the most receptions to tight ends back in 2022, and that trend looked to continue last week. Washington's Logan Thomas had a pretty good day as well, racking up over 40 receiving yards. And when you're looking at Darren Waller, he's basically a wide receiver for this Giants team and one of the best receiving options for Daniel Jones. What's your assessment of this line here at 49.5 receiving yards for Darren Waller?
Yeah, I think this line is a little bit low. As you said, he is basically a wide receiver. He did lead the team in targets. I expect him to do that again today or this weekend, and I really expect that most of the weeks. I think 49.5 is just a little bit low when you're going against that Arizona defense.
Yeah, but definitely betting on a bounce back this week for the Giants. I think they were pretty much embarrassed, as they should be, on Sunday Night Football. That was a pretty horrible game to watch, but for betting purposes this week, we're betting on a bounce back. And it is also Operation Fade the Jets here on the Pre-Snap podcast. As a Jets fan, this is the best scenario for me personally, because I'm going to bet against them. And hey, if they don't get there, at least I win money. If they do win, I lose money, but they win. That's my team. Okay, so that's the logic going into this one. No, but in all seriousness, Tony Pollard is in a good spot this week to go over his receiving yards line. That is at 19.5. Pollard averaging 23 receiving yards per game back in 2022. When you're looking at this New York Jets defense, watched a lot of Jets games, Tyler. The defense likes to keep things in front of them. They don't like giving up the big plays over the top, so they want to keep things in front of them. And guys, we saw it kind of last week with Buffalo, right? They go to they force you to kind of target those short passes in the middle of the field a little bit. So I think Tony Pollard, that's kind of where he thrives in the receiving yards game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he hits his over and has a big game in terms of the receiving yards. I know this Jets defense is a little bit tough, so people are probably a little bit reluctant. I mean, this is one of the best defenses in the NFL. You saw that on display Week 1. However, Tony Pollard, the way the game script is going to work out for the Jets here on defense, I think it lends itself to this over here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And what we saw last week was Pollard was in the game always. He played
Hmm.
73% of the snaps with a huge blowout and a blowout that
Yeah.
started really early and really fast. They just kept going to Pollard. They didn't really need him in the receiving game last week. He got 12 yards, but his average last year, 23 yards per game. The average the year before was 22 yards a game when, he wasn't used quite as much. And now his usage is going to be through the roof this year. And I think while this line is so low, we need to be hitting it.
All right, let's go to the NFC South. We're going to Carolina running back Miles Sanders, higher than 50.5 rush yards. Sanders had 72 week one going up against the Atlanta Falcons. This week going up against the Saints, who did kind of hold Derrick Henry in check. I believe the Titans had still over 100 yards rushing on the ground, though. What do you make of this line here for Sanders, especially given the fact that he's kind of like the guy for the Panthers, especially with a rookie quarterback who's just feeling things out? You got to think they're going to lean
Mhm.
on the run game here. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so Miles Sanders had 18 carries in week one. They paid the man. I think this is kind of going to be his normal usage going forward. I
Mm-hmm.
expect a lot of Sanders all year. With that being said, you said they kind of held Derrick Henry in check, but Derrick Henry only played 48% of the snaps. He only had 14 rushes. And then the rookie Spears was also involved. And together, they combined for 19 rushes for 90 yards,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much splitting, the workload there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Saints, they're ranked 25th, allowing 111.6 rush yards per game over their last nine. And a weird stat for you that I found, Carolina rushes 52% more when they're underdogs.
Interesting. And they
Mm-hmm.
certainly are this week going up against the Saints. So, liking the play here for Sanders. All right, now it's time for you and I, Tyler, to pick our favorite props of the week. Where are you headed for your pick?
I got to go to Mac Jones over 232.5 passing yards, minus 115 in sportsbooks. He threw the ball 54 times in week one. I don't see that stopping versus a Miami team that, look, let's face it, they are going to push the pace and throw the ball as much as they can every single week. And I think Mac Jones over is just leading into that. Miami is ranked 23rd, allowing 258 passing yards per game over the last nine. So let's go over. I think Mac Jones just needed an offensive coordinator, and he's got one again.
It's amazing what an offensive coordinator can actually do for your team. Go
Mm-hmm.
figure, right? I'm going to keep
Yep.
things in the AFC East here, and we're going with New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson. The fate is real, people. I'm going under 178.5 passing yards for Zach Wilson. Wilson only had 140 passing yards last week against the Buffalo Bills, and now I think he gets a tougher defense against the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Wilson averaged 187 passing yards in 9 games last year, but just 140 on the road. This game is in Dallas, people. Dallas held Daniel Jones to 104 yards. I would be shocked if Zach Wilson goes over 150 in this one. Listen, I've watched a lot of Jets games. I've watched a lot of Zach Wilson. And as a Jets fan, this is going to be painful to watch, especially Zach Wilson. I think when he gets into a game situation, he has a hard time going through his progressions. And it seems to just move a little bit too fast for him. And when you're looking at this Dallas Cowboys defense, man, that is a lethal defense. I think they're going to try to confuse him and get into some bad looks. I also like over 0.5 interceptions for him as well. This Dallas Cowboys defense is going to lure him into some bad decisions, and I think he's good for a pick in this one. As I said, it's fade the Jets season here. As a Jets fan, I've got to do it. I'm sorry. I got to
Ouch.
win my money back from some of those futures
You-
bets that I made on Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. So it's time.
it's wild that you went from Super Bowl to fade the Jets within four plays.
Man, I'm still in shock over it, to be honest with you. But as I said on some of our other previous shows, Tyler, My philosophy is just go on YouTubes and watch videos of cute animals until you feel better. I mean, if anyone just needs like a nice mood boost in their day, that's my recommendation. You know, I'm not a licensed therapist, people, if you couldn't tell, but but that's my recommendation. Also, fading the Jets and winning money helps as well. Just we're gonna
What
just
do you
keep
think
doing it.
of the 38-point game total in that game?
So yeah, this is fairly low, right? So I don't know. I tend to think, especially when you're looking at the Jets side of things and Zach Wilson, they could not put up points last year at all. So I kind of like the under here for that particular play. I heard a crazy stat the other day as I was driving, and it was like, if the Jets last season had put up league average points, they would have been 12-5, Tyler.
Sounds like the Padres.
But they just can't do it. They can't, you know, the offense. It'll be interesting to see what Nathaniel Hackett has up his sleeve for Zach Wilson. And we're going to see how the kid does. But until I can see it, I'm going to have to fade him. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Jets fans out there. Got to roll with it. If you want to tail us, make sure to
Your
go
hate
ahead.
for him is real. Your hate for him is real. I get it.
Hate. It's not hate. We just got to be objective here on our show. We're just objective.
Oh, it's no there's no being objective for you and the Jets.
It's just cold hard math. That's where the law of averages is taking me. So, got to do it. You can tail us on Underdog Fantasy, Prize Picks, Sleeper, and Chalkboard. Again, if you use that promo code LineStar, you're going to get some money back. $100 deposit match on your first deposit. For Chalkboard, that's up to $300. Links to that are below. Also, if you haven't already, do us a huge favor. Make sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, comment below. It helps the good old algorithm and helps us out a bit. Also helps you out because if we go 5 for 5 in our picks, one randomly selected commenter is winning $100, and we'll announce that on the next show. We were 4-1 last week, so we were close. I'm liking our picks here for week 2. Good luck in all your prop betting endeavors. We'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions or if the lines have changed on some of these and you want to know if we still endorse it, drop it in the comments. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. Good luck.